This is the F4U-4B Corsair. This model specifically is the premium version that was only available on the Xbox Store. I have this. You don't. Loser. I'm kidding. This is literally just the F4U-4B. It is a copy. There's nothing different between this model and the tech tree version. I just like it because I have an ace crew in it. I really like this plane. It sits at 5.7 in air realistic battles. It's got a pretty decent matchmaker. You're going to get an even amount of up tiers and down tiers and a lot of games at your own BR. You're not going to face many jets in this thing, which is part of what makes it playable. It's got a pretty unique playstyle. You're able to turn with some enemies. You really have to learn your matchups. BF-109s are a great enemy to dogfight with a really close turning fight rather than boom and zoom. However, most other targets are going to be more maneuverable than you, so you really have to be careful with how you approach things. You're definitely going to want to spend a lot of time climbing, like I'm going to in this thing, but as long as you are holding your energy, making sure you're smart about how you're trapping people, trying to find the right enemies that will actually take bait, find people that aren't paying attention, look at bombers even. I didn't shoot down any bombers in the two games I'm about to show you, but they are easy XP, easy silver lions. It's a very relaxing playstyle, I feel like. You really have to use your brain once in a while, but for the most part, you get to just turn it off, climb, see an enemy, kill them. I find myself to be most successful when I climb up to about 6,000 meters or so. I'll get to about 330, 320 kilometers per hour and start climbing at anywhere between 20 and 15 degrees. It usually gets you up pretty high. Depending on the map, the ambient temperature of the air will affect how hard your engine overheats. Because yes, that is modeled in War Thunder. Depending on the map you're on, the temperature of the air is cooler or warmer and will affect how quickly your engine overheats. Who knew? Make sure that you're watching your engine when you're getting into fights. It's really easy to damage your engine by sitting on wet for too long. You'll find yourself pretty quickly overheating and dying if you aren't managing that. I know some people like to use manual engine controls, but I just cannot be bothered. Just like your dad. That's why he's gone. I was looking at that B-17. I was thinking about turning for him, but I kind of wanted to actually, have a fight rather than just the random chance of getting shot by his gunners. So I decided to keep going. I'm going to keep climbing to make sure I have altitude over as many enemies as possible. The key with this thing is storing as much energy as you can in your gravitational potential. Make sure that you are above anyone you want to fight if you are planning on actually getting away once you make a pass. Otherwise, it's super risky. You need to be accurate with these cannons, and you're going to see what happens when you're not. Fights get drawn out, and it gets more and more dangerous. It's best to end fights as quickly as possible without letting yourself get dragged into something that you really don't want to be in. You're going to see later, I'm going to find myself in, I believe it was a 5v2, and the only reason I got away with it was because I had a teammate to help me, and I didn't get swarmed. This Key 84 is looking rather appetizing to me, so I decided to go in. He is still climbing, so he is a lot slower than I am. If I just fly level, maybe a little down, I can use some of the energy that I have and slowly start to catch up with him. Yeah, there it is. The engine overheat. You really got to lower it down. I typically will drop it to about 90, just to 90% throttle to just keep the engine cooler. You'll find yourself pretty warm pretty often if you're riding wet too much, and it can cause problems when you're getting into a fight when you need your engine to be cool and it's not. Key 84 decided to turn. I think that was probably the smartest move. He has a better turn rate than me, but I did not get a shot here. And now he's trying to rope me into a close dogfight, and I wanted none of it. So I'm going to climb, use the energy I have. He burned a ton of his speed turning like that. He basically just did a full loop. And I'm just going to go straight up and cash in all my energy. It makes that shot way harder. You play a lot of chicken with people in this thing. You're kind of just hoping that they have bad aim, and it really works out if you can get away with stupid shit like this when they can't aim, or you make the shot really hard. Now he is just floating in midair. He totally stalled out there. There was not much he could do, and he's just trying to dive away, but it didn't work. I took off his tail, he goes back to the hangar, and I'm on to the next. Key 84s are dangerous, so it's good to get that guy out of the match early, especially because he was one of the few enemies that was actually climbing. Had I engaged somebody down lower and this guy was still above me, it would have been very hard to actually come back from that disadvantage. A more maneuverable plane with more energy will kill you when you're flying this thing. It is a very mediocre plane in agility, in terms of agility, I guess. This Key 44 was not paying attention. He was just flying back to base, and while doing replays to make the montage, I found out he was also out of ammo. I think he wasted it all on ground targets. Either way, no more wing for him. He loses privileges. Now, I'm just looking around seeing who's paying attention, if anyone's coming towards me, or if there's more people just oblivious like that last guy was. And something about the way this LA7 was flying just screamed, I am not paying attention. He's probably browsing TikTok, watching brain rot, but it didn't really work for him. I took off, I believe, a left wing, or I damaged his left wing, and then I finished him off there. He lost control, so he is going to eventually crash. This, I believe it's a J5N1. It's that twin engine heavy fighter that Japan has. He was coming in for a landing. Again, an easy target. He's so low on energy. And take off his wing. There we go. Now, that TU2 was actually taking off, and he stopped. I chose not to dive back down for him. One, because I was convinced he was going to J out and just respawn if I dove for him, wasting my time. And two, he had teammates coming in. So diving in like that would have given them a shot that I didn't need to give them for only a chance at a kill, because I really didn't think that that guy was actually going to remain there had I actually dove on him. I had a ton of energy, so I cashed it all in, getting my altitude back. This Zero here, the A6M5, is a deadly target. He's up at co-altitude with me, so I really need to win this head on. He went for it, and I missed. Thankfully, he didn't even take a shot at me, but this Key 61 just, I don't know what he was doing. He had an angle on me. He could have shot, but he just chose not to. So now that I am coming out of a dive, I have a lot more speed than these guys. I'm just going to keep my speed, keep an eye on him, make sure that I don't make the shot too easy, don't fly in a straight line. Just slowly weave back and forth a little bit. And I really wanted to max out my throttle here, but I was a little worried by my engine temperature, so I decided to drop throttle just a little bit, and once it went back down out of the yellow, orange, and red colors, I felt comfortable enough to throw on WEP again. Just like that. Now, I was starting to realize my team had just been obliterated. I have one teammate in a fighter and another one in a B-17, so one teammate. I really needed some help here, so I started flying back towards my base. These guys kind of just spread out and started doing their own thing. But I'm just trying to buy myself time. I have plenty of fuel. I just need to buy my teammate time so he can actually get out to the fight. That BF-109 Jade out, I'm pretty sure he thought that I was just running back to base, which, you know what, fair, I get it. But now that this Falcon Wolf 190 is here to help, I can start thinking about how I'm going to engage these guys. So I wait for him to come in, make a pass at the people who are chasing me. Thankfully he was smart and pulled them off my tail. This I-225 went in for the shot, and the Zero turned for him as well, so that was my cue to get going. The LE-7 down low is both flying slow and probably 1,000 meters below me. So even if he pulled up for me like he is right now, he's not going to have an easy shot or any shot at all. He's just in his own little world down there. I'll get back to him later. This Zero was the target I was most worried about. I did not want to have to fight this guy in a one-on-one because I knew that he's going to try and drag me into some kind of fight that I don't want to be in. And if I make one mistake, he is going to pounce on me. So I slowly came in on his 6. He started diving out. He tried to get some speed, and I just kept going. Now, this is where it gets sketchy. I made a mistake, and now I'm paying for it. He's got a shot, but he's not a very good shot, so it didn't matter too much. I'm faster than he is. I'm faster than this LA-7, so I just kept going. I'm going to hold my energy again. Falcon Wolf 190's coming back. I'll be able to actually bait these guys for my teammate here, and he's either going to get the kill or he's going to just take them off my 6, which is going to make my life a lot easier. Worst case scenario, like we have here, he just turns it into a 1v1. This LA-7 just kept climbing for me, so I just kept circling, setting up the energy trap, seeing if I could set up my teammate. And I was thinking to myself, please get him, just do it, just shoot him, just shoot him, and he missed. Now, he was just floating there, so I had a second while he tried to become a helicopter. The Zero pulled up for my teammate. I don't know what the thought process was here, but he died for it. LA-7 is still floating. I don't know why he decided to keep pulling up, but they both died for it. Moral of the story, do not keep trying to force yourself out of a stall by pulling up harder. It doesn't work. This I-225 was one of the last targets we had. The Falcon Wolf chased him all the way down, and at this point there's nobody at altitude, so there's not much advantage to staying up high other than cashing it in to chase down people exactly like this. With this energy I can afford to lower the throttle and keep my engine cool. I think he got nicked by the Falcon Wolf because... oh no, he didn't. That's just a kill. He just crashed. Alright. Well, either way, I decided to go back to base because in my head I thought there was going to be a real enemy. But instead, in a moment, I will unveil ATU-2. I was like, I want that kill. So I started flying in towards him. I want to kill number 8. But this Falcon Wolf actually did a fairly good job at making sure he gets the kill. He assisted me and then finished off the team. So I'm happy with it. That was the last of my ammo. And that was a 7-kill game in the Corsair. It's all about energy fighting. Just making sure that you're smart about how you're using it, choosing your targets, knowing what you're fighting. It just takes practice and an absurd amount of time. Next, I have a different style of game for you. This is probably not the most ideal way to play the Corsair. Ignore me tabbing out. It's not the most ideal way to play the Corsair, but it is fun. You get some really competitive dogfights in this thing, specifically against G model BF-109s. They match you in your turning performance, and engine performance is really similar, so it makes it really interesting. I was keeping an eye on these BF-109s, especially the ones that were up high. There's a Spitfire down there. He's just hanging out. He really tried. I respect the effort, but again, stop pulling up for people you cannot catch. It is not worth it. You leave yourself hanging in the air, and you die to people while you are just trying to get a kill. It's not worth it. It's no fun. So this 109 went in for a pass. He came in below me. So I decided to take a little pot shot at him. Didn't do anything, but I think the emotional damage there was good enough. Now this other BF-109 just got done shooting down one of our bombers. So because he's got so much more energy than me, because he's got so much altitude, I decided to go in a head-on. I needed this to land. That's why it landed. I'm that good. That was totally lucky. He just was compressing because he was going way too fast and could not roll out of the way. That's part of the reason why I went for that anyway. I knew that he was going to be flying. And it paid off. So now I'm keeping an eye on that 109 that's up high. He's going to be a problem. He's coming towards me, and he's cashing in a lot of his energy for some speed here. So I'm thinking he's going to go vertical the second we merge. And he passes below me. I'm going to dive on him, and he's going to take that as his cue to pull up. And the dogfight begins. He watched me invert, and that was how he decided to do it. Now, this is where the dogfighting gets real. I have to be very careful here about how I'm approaching this guy. He's turning a lot tighter than me right now, telling me that he's probably slow. Between that and the fact that he just pulled up out of a dive, he's not going to have as much energy as I do while remaining up high. I was thinking in the moment that I would rather just hold altitude and energy and wait for a good opportunity to dive in on him and just get an easy kill. But this guy turned out to be a lot better than I thought he would. And now we're just getting closer and closer to our two-circle dogfight here. I gave him my 6, trying to just pull up here, but he's going to capitalize on it. I wanted to bring him over, make him do a loop to try and catch me, but he had a lot more energy than I thought. So he starts pulling up, and he actually gets a shot here. I don't know what's going on. He's having a bad day. Dad just sent him a text. He's still at the store getting milk. He said happy birthday. It was 3 months ago. Either way. Now, I am going to dive back in. I started trying to use my flaps here a little bit because I realized that this is going to be a tough fight. The Corsair in general, all of them, have amazing flaps. They have great flaps and no air brake, but they do have landing gear that does not overspeed, at least not at any reasonable speed. So you still have air brakes, and they will not break. He gets another shot, but I felt comfortable pulling over him again because I felt like he wasn't going to be able to actually get that shot there. And I may have been right. I don't know if he had bad aim or he really couldn't get the shot. But I dropped my flaps, pulled back down, raised the flaps because I was going too fast. I really didn't want to break him because that was going to be the difference between winning and losing this fight. He decides to pull up, and I'm rocking just under 600 kilometers an hour in speed right now, so I decided to pull up with him. I thought I could get a shot here, but he really started cranking down. I may have had a shot there, but it really didn't work. Now, he's going to continue trying to fight me in a rolling scissor here. It is an effective way to fight the Corsair. The 109 has a slightly better roll rate than the Corsair, if I remember correctly, but it's not significant enough that it's going to affect me, especially when we have a decent amount of speed. We're not approaching stall speeds yet, not like I'm doing right in this second. It doesn't matter if I can't roll. He's right where I need him to be. Raise my flaps up, try and hold a little bit of extra energy, and then drop them again to get the extra pull. I'll keep pulling up here. He's going to dive up. He's going to pull up and try and dive on me, so I'm going to just barely avoid the nose here. And that's going to repeat a few times. I'm going to try and do the same to him, but he is going to just barely roll out of the way. He knew that I was going to be coming around nearly on top of him. It would have been stupid to not do that. Now, this is where he made a mistake. He started pulling up and losing all his energy. And when he started pulling up like this, I was wondering to myself if I could get him to do that again. I rolled over on top of him, trying to bait the roll coming up, get him to pull up, lose a little bit more of his energy. Thought I had a shot. Either way, I either landed the shot or I scared him into pulling up hard. And now he is really low on energy, and I might have a good shot here. I just got it lined up and nicked his tail, and that was enough to end the fight. He's still up, and I wanted to make sure I secured this kill, so I came back around. Going to slowly peck at him. These are 20 mils, by the way. Still didn't kill him. Still just a crit. He's still somewhat in control. I pulled off and then tried to come back around, but he J'd out for me. What a nice guy. Now, last guy is this Doe 335. My friendly PBY there actually killed him. So this was the end of my game. I only got 2 kills, but I think it was interesting enough to show y'all. So that was my explanation of how I play the Corsair. I hope you enjoyed. I really like this plane, and I hope you give it a shot. The tech tree version is identical to the one I'm playing. The only thing that's different is the marine paint job. There's nothing else different about it. Please subscribe, give me a like. I would love to hear what y'all think in the comments. See ya.